We're going to see how well the internet works and in connecting people on different sides of the world. Because we're going to have Gerald von Stoddard be joining the stream here momentarily. He is coming to us live from Italy, where it is 8 p.m. here in Ohio. It is 1 a.m. for him, which is why this is bumped up to 8 instead of 9, because it would have been 2 a.m. and I'm not going to start him talking at 2 a.m. because that's cruel. So instead, we're going to get him right now. As we do some strategic product placement for Mortar Coil 1 and 2. That should have worked. Did it work? Invite. There it is. How are you, man?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you. I got
All
you.
right.
How's life, man? How are things?
Life is good. Busy.
Yeah.
Pretty busy. I am at a campsite inside a tiny little kitchen.
That's fantastic. Hey, whatever you got to do, right?
Whatever you gotta do. It's 2 a.m. Everyone's sleeping. So,
Well, I won't keep you for the normal length of time. But I'm glad that we were able to make this work because you have an art book right now on Kickstarter. Um, and I'm curious, like, why now? Like, what made you decide like 2025 was the year to put out your art book?
because I'm insane.
Perfect.
Really honestly, it just was something I wanted to do. And I knew, well, originally it was going to be a sketchbook add-on to the last Kickstarter
Okay.
because I had so much art. And when you do a lot of art for indie creators, sometimes it can take a long time for it to come out,
Yeah.
or it may never come out. And I just had a lot of stuff. And I thought, well, why not just put it together and see who the real fans are?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's an art book by me, someone that a lot of people know.
Yeah.
A- And I also thought it would just be nice to have. My 7-year-old wants one. So,
That's cool. Yeah, got to celebrate those dad wins for sure.
yeah,
So,
he's so
so is it
funny.
pure?
He saw me, he's been watching me put it together, and he's like, do I get the first one, right? And I said,
Yeah,
will you
but
draw it? And he wants me to remark it and everything. So,
that's awesome.
he's my biggest fan.
That's cool. I mean, what better biggest fan could you ask for?
Oh, I couldn't. He's the
That's
number
cool.
one.
So is this something that you're planning on doing? Because I know you're doing a ton of like it seems like half the books that I get from Kickstarters from not you have a cover by you. So like is this something that like you're gonna make a regular like rhythm of every couple of years you're gonna put one out, or was this like a do it and see what happens?
This was a do it, see what happens. And it's, I kind of feel like I have like a theory or I don't know what you call it. It's like hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Yeah.
So it's been really good to sort of see where I stand at the moment as far as like, an artist in the comic scene. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of growth to happen, and there's a lot of stuff changing in my art itself and style. And so what ended up happening is going in to make an art book, and I feel like it turned into like a yearbook
Mm, okay.
and kind of a visual autobiography of
Yeah.
coming back into the comic scene and where I'm at today. Because I mean, I literally just put in some new stuff, sent to my editor, and I said I want to get this in there because it's really important to kind of see where it's not where it started. It started a long time ago, but kind of where it started, where this is my job, this is
Yeah.
what I do, and where I'm at today, and what kind of like that there's a lot of different art, um, and I feel like it's just like a kind of a very personal journey, and in the end, sort of inviting anyone who's into that to kind of like take a look at it.
Yeah.
If I was a writer, I would have written it, but and I am a writer, but primarily a visual person, so I feel like it's really became more of like a visual uh, diary
Okay.
in a way.
Yeah, because you've got it's not just the art, right? Like you have commentary, you've got like written entries too, right?
Yeah, it opens up primarily visual, uh, just because you should kind of open up the book and get
Yeah.
full page, art and be like, oh, cool, I haven't seen that before, and kind of more towards the end, maybe thrown in the middle, there will be some commentary, some process stuff, because even in this past year, I've done a lot of like collaboration. And I feel like someone just like shot a gun or something. That was so weird.
I heard something on. I'm like, is this the start of a horror movie?
My God, isn't it right? Like this tiny
Right.
little box, and there's like a zipper door behind me. I'm like, oh my God,
You're
this is
so secure right now.
this is a this is a slasher movie. I know it. But I did a lot of collaborations. I mean, some of it with a couple different colorists, but one of the things I've done over the course of the year too is trying out and working with some inkers where I just pencil,
Okay.
which is actually been, and so there'll be some of that like process of like, layout to final ink to colored and
Yeah.
just talk about that a little bit, or and there's a lot of like my first comic, Immortal Coil, issue number one, when I was laying out and making notes to myself, and kind of like what I was thinking, and uh, why this page was important.
Mm, that's cool. Yeah, it's I'm one of those the special features on the DVDs where it's like here's the making of or the BTS footage or whatever. Like those are made for me. I love seeing how that
Mm,
stuff is made, and so having insight into like how you craft or put together a page and like the layout with the panels and what art like seeing it, insight into that is like I'm the person that's for. So I love that
mm,
that's going to be part of that because, like, especially having, like, I mean, I've got both one and two of Immortal Coil behind me. Um, but, like, it's just having read a book and then getting that insight into how it came to be is just always like a super win for me. So I love that that's going to be part of it. Like, what can people expect with the finished product book that you're putting together? Like, how big is it? Is it's hardback, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's hardcover. It's 88 pages. There's full page art. There's some double page spreads. There's covers no one has ever seen.
That's cool.
Uh, there's sketches, not too many sketches because I really want it to be an art book. I don't want it to be a process book, but there
Yeah,
is some of that, especially towards the end. Um, Full color stuff, there's a whole collaboration section because I only I only have probably colored just a couple things. I work with a guy in Brazil, Guy Herme, and a guy in Rome named Lorenzo Scaramella.
Okay.
So, and all those covers for the books you probably have or are coming, like some of the line art, some of the color. Um, and some of those books will come out. It's just this art book will come out probably before a lot of those comics.
Yeah.
Um, so I just feel like putting it all together, and uh, I, it probably feels like the first project I've done where I really did it for me,
Okay.
and just inviting people to kind of look at it with me. And
Yeah.
it's not blown up on Kickstarter or anything. It's pretty modest, but it's a good real for me. It's a good litmus test of
Yeah.
like where I'm at on that journey and who's coming with me. And I just want to keep growing that.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's something to be said about the magic of the indie comic community and just like
Mm.
the insane support that comes from them. That like I thought I understood just doing the show, and then I launched my own campaign, and like
Yeah, man.
just the crazy amount of support that we got from that was like it's still overwhelming. Like we're less than $100 away from tripling our initial funding goal, which is like, how is this real life? Like
Congratulations.
it's insane.
Well, you have something that a lot of people don't, and that is you didn't launch a comic and then sort of do this sort of podcast. You put in a lot of virtual currency in the karma bank.
Yeah,
And I know for a fact personally it wasn't a plan. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna
yeah,
do the long box punk and then so I can build up my fan base for my own comic. Like I feel like it was very organic
yeah, yeah.
and very serendipitous. So I feel like what that you are the prime example, I think, of how it's supposed to work. Like
Yeah,
if you support others, they will support you.
yeah. And it's like it's so easy to support other creators, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not even. I mean, I sure have stacks and shelves of books, and I buy the shirts and the stands and the stickers and like I do all that stuff. But like that's what I'm into, and I have to budget for that because at a certain point every month I'm like
Mm.
digital only, if at all, because I just can't. But
I'm the same. I really would love the physical thing,
yeah,
but honestly, and if anybody's watching and you do support indie creators, there's nobody feels bad about getting a digital backer at all
yeah,
because it means that you took the time to support this book, comic, campaign, and it means a lot, So, and and honestly, I had a guy message me the other day and said, "Oh man, I really want to check this out, but I don't have the money, I don't have the funds." I go, I don't care.
right,
And he's like, "But I shared it with some friends," and I was like, "Dude, do you know how much more that sometimes means? Like that
yeah,
you would share with people that I don't know that you thought it was cool enough to tell few of your friends, check this out."
yeah,
I mean, you can't like buy that kind of
yeah. And getting that message too, right? Like that how many times does someone look at something, think, oh, that looks cool, I can't support it, and then moves on and like doesn't do the sharing aspect, doesn't tell anybody, doesn't reach out to the creator. Like
mm,
that person did so much more than the typical like more casual readers do, because it's just like I can't, so I feel bad. And so like I it took a lot of work for me personally to make that switch from like I have to buy everything to show them that I support them to like sometimes it's just a personal message of like a hey, if you like whatever, like this campaign is happening and even if you don't back it, like check it out because it's cool and you'll probably like it. And if nothing else, like you might find a creator that you really like and that creator might make an art book down the road that you want to back to, like, you know what I mean? So you never know. And it took a lot personally just to get over the like I have to back everything. And now I regularly like every day I have to tell myself like I can't back every book. Like I can't.
And no, and people who make comics, they don't well, I can't speak for everybody. I don't expect people to buy everything that I do or make or put out there, and I never will. Like, if it funds, the it's going to get made. If it doubles, triples, awesome. We can do some other cool stuff. Or that money, if there's any money left over, it's going to go to make the next book. It's all good with me, man. You know, like
Yeah.
if I could just find one more person who might look at something I do and say, "Oh wow, this is really cool," you know, I feel like I was successful doing something. You
Yeah.
know, people are like, "Oh, I want to reach 10K, and I want to like sell 500 books on Kickstarter." I mean, if you make good stuff and you keep doing it, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's not out of the realm.
I mean, congratulations though on tripling that funding. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like we had talked before we launched about like what's the most ridiculous number we can think of and we were both like 1500, like there's no way we're gonna hit that, maybe, but like probably no way. And so we made that the final stretch goal of like we'll increase the size of the book, we'll add printed pages to it, we'll do all this stuff. And so we hit 1700 like last night slash early this morning. And we had talked about doing like if it, once we saw like the funding in 13 hours we were like we need to rethink what we're doing. Like we want to keep all of we didn't want to change or make the stretch goals higher than we initially planned because it's not about putting money in our pockets. Like we've already decided like we're not keeping any of this money. It's going to make the book and buy the cool shit to make the book and whatever if anything we have left over like it's going to go in its own separate place and we're going to use that to buy more materials for the next one because this is just the start for us. So like we already had the like hey you're not planning on making money from this, right? And he was like, no, I just want to make it. I was like, okay, cool. Because I don't think we are. I just didn't want to set out with the like, I want to connect with an audience that is the same mindset of like, let's just make cool punk rock comics. And he was like, yeah, that's all I want. I was like, okay, perfect. Like, we're on the same page. Great.
Done. Done. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you know, I had this. I was just talking about this with some other podcaster friends of mine. You know, and it's like comics are not for the faint of heart. I mean, you really gotta love this medium, and if
Yeah.
you're in it to make money, you should just go back to school. Like, sorry, kids, this is not a career option. You're just insane. You know,
Yeah.
because it's hard work, man. It's not, I mean, if you love it, you love comics, you love sequential storytelling, you love the collaborative sort of energy
Yeah.
and talking about it and living it and dreaming about it, uh, then sure, yeah, go for it. Like, you know, but it's, I mean, especially I mean, we're so lucky to have something like Kickstarter now and to have so many
Yeah.
people like, you know, come into your community that you would have never have met, you
Yeah.
know. Like I don't know everybody, but it's cool to look at backer reports and be like, wow, this person has literally backed everything I've done this past year. That's so cool. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know them. I never met them. They live in Canada.
Yeah.
Um, and there's a few of those, and and it's like that kind of stuff. Um, I mean, some crazy stuff has happened this past year. I mean, that's also, I mean, it's kind of in the art book too. There might be some commentary, like, drawing in this supernatural Western. Great story, and the writer was a fan from the get-go, and we just got talking, and he told me about this idea, and I loved it, and
It's cool.
and I brought my colorist on and the letter, and we're pretty close to being done with that. I've done some prints for them. I don't know, man. I feel like it's not just Kickstarter and taking people's money. It's like it's really grassroots community building.
Yeah. Yeah. And really, like, that's all I've ever set out to do, even with the show. Like, I just want to find my people, right? Like, I'm tired
Hmm.
of, because I don't have real life friends that are as heavy into
I,
comics
th- I thought
as
you were
I.
sc- I thought you were gonna say I don't have real life friends. Pe- Period.
Period. That's the, yeah. These are the only people I talk to. They live in my phone.
Well, it's almost true,
Yeah.
almost. I mean, sort of like the lines are becoming blurred.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
Well,
once I found.
didn't you just go to a con to meet some people? Like, I mean, that you met online, right?
Yeah, that was, I think that was the end of April. I went up to an alt press expo in Columbus,
Mm,
um, and met a guy that had sent me, he lives in the DC area, and he had mailed me a copy of his book and like this DC comic newsletter that they do twice a month or twice a year. Um, and yeah, like he was like, "Hey, you're in Ohio. Like, are you gonna be at this thing in Columbus?" And I was like, "I don't even know what that thing is, dude." And so I looked it up, and it was like the weekend. It was like 2 days after my birthday, so I had it blocked off. Of like, wife's probably gonna want to do dinner or something, or my parents or whatever. And so I literally told all of them like, "Hey, for my birthday, I just want to go to this small press con in Columbus." And so like that's what I did, and
it's
uh,
awesome.
I ended up standing and talking to Jake and Aaron, who was tabling with him that he's worked with, and they live together, near each other. I talked to them for like an hour and a half when I got there, and it was just like I talked to them. I talked to uh, Greg, the bearded comic bro, who
Mm.
also does a bunch of indie comic, and then like some of the upper creators, is like the bigger name creators. I'll actually be recording with him tomorrow, but
Oh, nice.
yeah, like it was cool to be like I went to a couple of tables and just started talking to the creators, and I was like, "Hey, like you thought you were the only one selling stuff, so I have this podcast, just Longbox Punk," and I had three different people be like, "I know who you are," and I was just like, "You do? What are you talking about?" And it was from like Blue Sky or Threads or here on Instagram that they were like, "Yeah, I've like I see your stuff on social media all the time. Like I can't believe that you came to that. Like I didn't even know you were here." And I was like, "Well, I'm not." And like it was a 2 hour drive, but like yeah, here I am. And so like that was something that I never expected that. And
Mm.
having several people be like, "Wait a second, I know who you are." It was just like, okay, cool. Like
That's
okay,
awesome.
that's
That's
wild.
awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I have a couple long box punk stickers on my short boxes that I
Yeah,
take
you
to
do.
cons, and so I have some people sometimes ask me like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, you want to know what that is?
Let
Let me
me tell
tell
you.
you. Let me tell you about long box punk. It's a
Yeah,
great conversation starter.
I mean, it's eye catching, right? Like and my wife did the design. Like I told her I
Oh,
want
she did?
skulls,
Oh,
and
that's so cool.
Yeah, I was like, I want a skull and like purple and comic things, like a text box or something. And she was like, okay. And so she
Done.
was plunking away at
Stamp.
work, sent some stuff to me, and I was like, can you tweak this and like maybe change the font on that? And she was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're so needy. And I was like, whatever.
I thought she was gonna be like, give you the side eye.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, people like your logo, huh? I made that. Yeah, totally my wife. It was not me at all.
Awesome. That's really cool to hear about the all press thing. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I connected with several people there, um, and because like I'm involved with one in September. That's another like indie thing that's closer to me. And so I was telling people in Columbus, like, hey, we do this one in Middletown. Like, you should. It's only from here. It's only like an hour. So like, drive an hour and come down. Like, I'm working it, so like we can hang out
Mm.
again. And there were three or four people that were like, yeah, all right, what's it called? And they like put it in their phone and have already, either signed up or said that they're going to try and come down for a day of it. So I was like, that's a win. Like more in person, because I'm always just like, yeah, come to Ohio and come to our conventions. And then like people are actually saying yes. And so, so I'm like, oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. All right.
There's actually one in Cleveland. I can't remember the name of it. I entertained going, but I don't know if I will. I used to live in Ohio, so and
Okay.
I have some great friends who live in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
been a long time since I've been to Ohio. Flattest state ever.
It's a lot of state. Yeah.
It's so
And it's all the
flat.
same landscape.
It's
It's just flat.
it's all the same. Good people though.
Yeah, we are. If I do say so myself, we got that Midwestern charm. You know what I mean?
That's right. Very nice.
Well, dude, I don't want to keep you from sleeping any longer than I already have. But how long? How much longer does your Kickstarter run? Like, it ends like this week, right?
Ends Monday.
Okay, that's within a
Yeah,
week. That was close. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, I don't know much more. I mean, it's kind of one of those straightforward things, It's I mean, I would just say, the Kickstarter page is pretty clear. There are some preview pages on there. There's a lot of stuff, you know. It's going to be 88 pages. It's not a ton, but that's,
That's a
you
good
know,
size.
it's a good size. I mean, my editor and I were like, okay, we've got like 200 pages. Break this? How do we break this down? Um, and that's why I brought my editor from Immoral Coil on, because he he was like, I don't know how to edit an art book. And I said, well, but you are a person with eyeballs, and he knows comics.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you know, I can't look at it and say, oh, here you go. And I don't want to just throw it together. We had a meeting in a day, and I mean, he had just really great ideas on how it flowed, like
Mm.
thematically, and to not just be like, okay, here's a bunch of line art, here's a bunch of color stuff, here's a bunch of
Yeah.
covers. That would be so boring. And if you keep looking at the same thing, interior page, interior page, interior page, you're just going to kind of fall asleep. And then if you just kind of try to mix it up, then it doesn't make sense. But anyway, bringing Sean on has been great, and you know, uh, it, it's a start. It's a start, and of being like, well, this is what I do, and I can give it to my parents and say, no, really, this is what I do.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
as old as I'm. No, actually, my parents are pretty cool about it.
See, I'm waiting until I get like a physical copy of my comic so that I can hand it to my parents and be like, no, like I made that. Like that came from my brain. because telling them about it, they're like, "Oh, neat. Okay."
Well, that's
I'm
one
like,
thing I'll say about the difference between America and Italy. Like in America, you kind of have to know comics to really appreciate when someone says that's what they do, you
mm,
know. Because it is what I do. I don't have any other job. Like I draw every single day of my life, you
yep.
know. I mean, this past month, I mean, it's been crazy. Like 23 interior pages, three covers, 8-page anthology, one Kickstarter, um, book designing. I still, oh my God. And I'm going to try to take this weekend off just to go to the beach with my kid.
Yeah.
Because once the Kickstarter ends, you know how it goes. It's I mean, it's like that's the thing too. Oh, I'm put my book on Kickstarter. Well, the hardest part's coming up.
Yeah.
The hardest part, and that's making sure everybody's happy.
Yep.
Making sure books arrive safe, make sure they get to the right place. You got all your stretch goals, you
Yeah.
know, and you just watch all that money go.
Yeah. I'll have a comma in my bank account for the first time in years. It'll be just okay. Well,
Oh, but what I was saying was in America, like people who don't know comics will ask you, so what do you do? You like for work? Oh, I'm a comic artist. And they're like, oh, that's a thing?
yeah.
Like something I know? I'm like, looking at you, definitely not. Um, but in Italy, and I mean, I'm not kidding. So in Italian, the word is fumettista. And so that's like comic creator.
Okay.
I don't care who you tell. They could be 5 years old. They could be 95 years old. When someone in Italy asks you, "Oh, what do you do for work?" "Oh, I'm a comic creator." They're like, "No, are you
That's awesome.
serious? That's what you do?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, wow, that's so cool. This is all in Italian, by the way. And I mean, because in Italy, comics are still they're like, they're art. They're entertainment. It's not a subculture. They don't even know what the
Mm.
word nerd means. There's no word in Italian for nerd. I think
We went
it's
to
just,
middle school in Italy. Jeez.
oh, kids are cruel. They'll find something else. If you don't play soccer, you're shameful. Just means you're a dummy. Um, but no, I mean, that's one thing I'll say about Europe. Like, there's a real appreciation for comic art and comic creation as a whole. And we're not talking like you don't have to be like Jim Lee. I mean, they don't care.
Yeah.
Like you can buy comics at the grocery store, the
That's cool.
newspaper stand, little tiny shops. I mean, there's just comics, everywhere. Um, and it used to be like that in America. It used to be like that when I was growing up, and now it's like, you got to go to that place, and if you go to that place, that shop, they may not even talk to you.
Yeah.
And be like, oh yeah, the comics are over there. Uh, I don't know. I would love to see sort of that kind of culture kind of come back to America, and I think that what people are doing with crowdfunding in the indie scene has exploded so much over the last 10 years that I
Yeah.
think some of it's come back. Like there is like a love of the medium that we share, and I think it becomes infectious and, try to spread that around a little.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, all of the Marvel and DC movies blowing up have really brought it forward because, like, some of the people that I went to high school with were the smarter
Mm.
kids, and I was the like theater kid that read comics. And like I've run into people just out in the wild because no one, and if you live in Ohio, you will always see someone you know anytime you go out. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
so uh, I would go out to like the grocery store and I'll run into somebody I went to high school with, and they're like, "Hey, uh, so Black Widow?" I'm like, "Uh huh, yeah." They're like, "What's her deal? You comic, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, I comic. Yes, I do. Yeah."
Oh my God, that is a t-shirt. You please make it. I will buy every color. I comic.
Yes, I comic.
Yeah, no, and it's true. I mean, yes, for the greater public, the non-comic layman, there is an awareness of
Mm-hmm.
it to a certain degree.
Yeah,
But you also get the flip side where, people are getting into creating comics to just create IP in hopes that they're gonna make $1 million.
yeah,
And and a lot of times you'll watch those people they'll just fall off the scene because that's not how it works.
right.
You know, I mean, you may that write something in 10 years from now that just sporadically some seventh connection from you,
Yeah,
you know. But that's usually, having a good publisher, possibly an agent. And it's, who knows? But Chris, maybe someone's gonna knock on your door tomorrow and be like, "Yo, I just saw that comic that
yeah,
that y'all did. Like, let's make a movie.
yeah. I mean, okay. I'm not
We'll
gonna hold
pay
my
you.
breath.
We'll pay you $50.
Period. Great.
Period. Do
Make
you,
it 75 and a 6 pack of beer, and I'm in. I'm easy to please. I never said I was a good businessman.
no, I am not. I draw pictures. I comic.
I comic, yeah.
That's all I do is I comic. I don't know how to make money. I just comic.
For absolutely making that a verb. Yep, that's gonna happen.
Well, dude, I'm very excited for you. Congratulations on the success of your first comic and
Yeah, thank
going to
you.
your first con as an actual creator.
Yeah,
That's really, really cool. That's really,
yeah,
like really cool. You deserve it.
it's wild. Appreciate that. And congrats for a funded art book for Let's Try It and See. And it's already funded. So it you clearly are seeing that people want more of your artwork in their eyes, um, which is probably the weirdest way I could have said that.
I
Here
think
we
at
are,
this
man.
point, it's all good. I comic, your eyes. This is a song. This is probably the beginning of a comic book.
Either that or thankfully not a horror movie because I haven't heard any more gunshots from your headphones
I know. I'm safe for now.
for now. Yeah. Yeah. Well, good luck not spinning this into a horror tale over this coming weekend. Enjoy it. Relax with the family. It's always good talking to you, man. I appreciate you staying up all hours of the night and hanging out in a tent kitchen to talk with me.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's always good to hang out with you. Thank you. It's good to
Cool,
see
man.
you.
Yep, you too. I don't know how to remove you because I'm not that savvy with Instagram, but uh, I'm sure we'll be talking soon enough.
All right. Bye,
Thanks, man.
Chris.